Good evening, folks, and a hearty welcome to our drive-in theater. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you, one that will provide several hours of pleasurable relaxation and diversion for you and your family. Did you fail to dress up for tonight's show? No tie, an old shirt and slacks, a house dress? Well, don't give it a thought. We're glad you came as you are. We just want you to enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to visit our refreshment center during the intermission or any time. You love the tasty array of snacks we have to offer. So will the youngsters. Everything is quality and so good. We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring the family. Bring your friends. There are always wonderful new pictures to see, delightful snacks to nibble, a gay, pleasant evening for all. Oh, a word of caution. Don't drive over 10 miles an hour in the theater area for your safety's sake. And Mom or Pop, go with the kids when they leave the car. We hope you have a wonderful time. Come back soon.
It's 4 minutes till showtime.
Hey, fellas, don't fight over that hot dog. There's plenty for everyone. Big, plump, and juicy, wrapped in an oven-fresh bun. Add mustard, relish, ketchup, and go to work. Yes, the hot dogs at our refreshment center are the best you'll find anywhere. Everybody agrees on that.
It's 3 minutes till showtime.
Thirsty? The refreshment stand is open with everything to satisfy your taste buds. Here's the menu: the hottest, freshest, crunchiest popcorn, each kernel popped to its fullest with that real movie time taste. Cold drinks. You'll find your favorite ice cold, tasty, and thirst quenching. And hot dogs, hamburgers, and candy too. Now a short intermission, so you'll have time to make your selection before the show begins.
It's 2 minutes till showtime.
Your attention, please. All new hotshot electric in-car heaters have been installed for your comfort and convenience. Just insert heater through car window and turn on the switch. When leaving, please turn switch off and replace on speaker post. Warning, high voltage. For your own safety, do not attempt to repair or remove wires. Do not attempt to open heater unit. If you need assistance, please notify the theater box office or concession manager.
Top quality hamburgers, the most popular snack in the country. We serve them plain or garnished to your taste.
There are words men live by, words of strength, of wisdom, and of peace. We urge you to find the spiritual comfort and guidance we all so greatly need by attending your place of worship regularly.
Just 1 minute to go.
And now, on with the show.
No, that's not big enough. No, that's not big enough either. That's more like it. We're delighted to have you with us, and we extend a cordial welcome to you. We've lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on our giant screen with the new, colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading about. To add to your enjoyment, we're all wound up to bowl you over at intermission time with live wire service at our snack bar, where you'll find a tempting variety of favorite foods and beverages. Your continued patronage is very, very welcome.
Hello, fellow humans, and welcome to my stream. We were going to be playing 3 games today, but we're only playing 2 because just before we came online, we busted out of the Comet in gross fashion. That means our day is going just like it has been the last couple of days. So we guy raises from the cutoff. We're in the big blind with kings. We put in a 3-bet. So guy raises 3x. We put in a 3-bet to 3 times his 3x raise. So 9x at this point, 270 chips. He makes the call. Flop comes queen 8-5. I bet. He calls. Brick on the turn. Brick on the river. Goes, I bet he calls. I bet he shoves. I call the river. No, sorry. I check the river. He bets. I shove. He calls. He has queen 8, which is hit 2 pair on the flop. So our kings get toasted, and we are done in the Comet on our first real hand played. It's going to be one of those days, apparently. Got a pair of aces on the deep impact table. Got shoved on, calling it off pretty much all the time. King stays 10. And that was looking pretty gross there for a second. But we hold out on the deep impact for a double up. So I got a bit of a late start today because I had to go out and get a new monitor for my system. I run 2 monitors all the time, and a couple of weeks ago my second monitor blew up, so I've been borrowing my roommates for the past couple of weeks since she's been away, but she's coming back on Saturday, so I figured I needed to buy myself a new monitor to make sure that she had her monitor back when she came home. Hello, Piano Cat! Always good to see you. Always good to have you hanging out with us. Welcome to the stream. Playing 2 games at the moment. We got the Deep Impact and Nano, where we just doubled up to get 18,000 chips. We're in the Falling Star Bounty, where we got a bit of a chip up. We lost some chips to start with. Got a chip up to a little bit over start stack, back down to just about start stack now in the Falling Star. We had a brutal beat first hand that we played in the Comet. Kings on the big blind, cutoff raises to 3x. We 3x his raise to 9x. He calls. Flop comes queen high. We bet. He calls. Brick is a turn. We bet. He calls. River is another brick. We check. He bets. We shove our kings over top. Might not have been the best move in the world, but that's what we decided to do. He calls off with queen 8 is what he called my 3-bet, my 3x 3-bet with. And he flopped queen 8 on the flop, so he hit 2 pair and took out our kings. You know, just the way, just the sort of shit that happens to us lately. Hello, Mike. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. I was just explaining how our Comet went down in flames earlier today in a really gross spot. Was also explaining why that I'm on a bit late today because had to go out and get a new monitor, and I had to set that up, and it's a bit weird. Today might be a bit weird with the streaming because my new monitor is 4K, and I set it up, and I love the 4K. It's great, but at the moment, it's messed up my standard pattern for streaming. I've got stuff on different screens than I normally have. I'm playing on a different screen than I normally play on. I got OBS on a different screen than I'm normally playing on. So things are going to be a little messed up today, possibly. Also, the different resolution. I've got one screen that's 1080p. I've got one screen that's 4K. So moving my mouse between screens is potentially tricky until I get used to where I have to have the mouse to move it across to the new screen, because the new screen or the second screen is smaller than the first screen. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting day. Yes, and cats. Always cats. Always cats. I always welcome all of my fellow humans to the stream, as well as non-human identifying sentient creatures and non-sentient creatures as well. So I'm pretty sure that you, Piano Cat, fit somewhere into one of those three categories. I have my suspicions as to which category you fit into, but you're free to identify as you like. So Falling Star, going to put in a raise here with my 910. Seems like I mean, is this the sort of hand that you call off with? I mean, it strikes me that I'm just very exploitable when I fold that on a regular basis. And I shouldn't be limping those sorts of hands, I don't think. So I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to play that. I guess just raise fold. I guess just be exploitable, I guess. I mean, I suppose I could just assume he had a big hand that he's reshoving there, but equally he could be just on anything. So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I have a notification. What's my notification? Ooh, Ian Simpson left a message on one of my videos. What did Ian Simpson say on one of my videos? Snacks. Which video is that he... Oh. Hello, Mr. Ian. Ian is leaving a bunch of videos on my or leaving a bunch of comments on my video. That's cool. Hello, if you're in chat, Ian. Hello, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you hanging about. Glad to have you checking things out. Always nice to have you hanging around. So yeah, anyways, I ended up having to get a new monitor because, as I said, I run two monitors. My previous monitor was died a couple of weeks ago. I've been boring my roommate. She comes back on Saturday. So I need to get a new one, and my new one is 4K. It's actually really nice. I look forward to trying a few different games on my 4K monitor. I've already seen some great advantages. I need to do some calibration on it. It's a little too dark, and the colors are a bit bleh at the moment on it. But and it's actually really dark, it looks like, on my TV set as well, which is, I don't know, on the stream as well. I'm going to have to adjust that. That backdrop shouldn't be quite that dark, I don't think. You guys should be able to see a little more of it. Interesting. Alrighty, well, we'll play around with that. Ian, good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us here on the Mothership. Playing 2 games at the moment. We got the Fallen Star Bounty going, and we have also got the Deep Impact Nano going. I just busted out of the Comet Nano in really gross fashion. I had kings on the big blind, cut off raises 3x. I repop his 3x again, so it's 9x now. He calls. Flop comes queen high, so I bet he calls. Turn is a brick. I bet he calls. River is a brick. I bet he shoves. I call. I have to go back and look at that. I might have checked, and he might have shoved, and I called. But either way, we got our money in on the river when I was still got an overpair to the board, and he had flopped a 2-pair with queen 8. So I'm not really sure why he's calling my 3-bet there with queen 8, but you know, I guess that's what you got to put up with in the nanos. Yeah, that's cool. It happens. It happens. We've pulled up a nice little hand in the Deep Impact. Just gonna call behind here. Yeah, didn't need to see the king. That kind of counterfeits my hand and puts me in for some chops. But I think we're definitely playing this. We're definitely playing this aggressively because I don't think he has clubs all the time, and I think he. I mean, we're gonna split, but I wish I'd gotten that in on the turn. But I think that with all my draws there, I think just calling behind is good. I mean, that's just the worst card that can come, basically. So. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how that happens sometimes. Twitch has got weird interfaces with videos and stuff. I know that with my job with Poker News, I do, or with some of the PokerStar stuff I do a lot of video cutting from Twitch, and it can be really weird. The live video will pop up in the middle while I'm trying to record a previous video, and so I have to start again because the live video's popped up. It's really weird. It's really weird sometimes. I'm going to fold the Jack 4 on the button and head over to the Falling Star because we flopped a flush draw here after getting in for a free flop. Yeah, no, it is quite nice. I got a pretty good deal on it, $370 Canadian on sale. It's a Samsung. It's only 28 inches, so it's kind of small, but it's kind of funny that I'm talking about 28-inch monitor is small, but it there was 32s and stuff I was looking at, but I just want to put the money down for quite that much money. I'm just going to call behind here. I could put in a raise, obviously. I probably should have actually put in a raise here to clear out some of these other players. Yeah, I actually wish I'd raised there now that I'm wow, and then he just half bets on the turn. Interesting. Well, I don't think I can go anywhere with my flush draw. Should probably be playing it a little bit more aggressively, and we could just be dead to full houses here. But I think, we're pretty much calling off any bet at this point. I think we've got potential booties to be able to pick up from 2 INL up here. So I think. We put in our raise here. Because we had second nut flush, right? I mean, there's obviously potentially an ace flush out there, but we got second nut flush, so it's not like, and there's potential full houses, obviously, but, we've got the virtual nuts. It's not quite the nuts, but it's the virtual nuts, so we may as well bet it for value. we were able to get some value out of the king, which is a little surprising. I'm not sure. Not sure king calls on that board necessarily, but I think the king 8 is probably done. Gonna jump into the dark matter nano as well, since I busted the comet in such brutal fashion. So let me get that updated onto my spreadsheet. Point 2 nano dark matter. Picked up an interesting hand on the deep impact table that I've just put in a raise with. And I guess we're calling off here with our jacks. Jeez. I mean, we take some of the pot, but it's pretty gross when the king queen just gets there, right? I mean, that's been the way our days have been going the last couple of days. It's just we get in with by far the best hand. I mean, I guess we're racing there, so it's not by far the best hand, but still, we get in with the best hand, and they get there on us. The kings earlier, queen 8 gets there on us. It's just been really gross the last few days. So, got to be able to work through it, of course, but that's what makes poker gross sometimes. So today's buy-ins, currently we're 210 total buy-ins at the moment. Nothing coming back yet. That means we're at about 53 cent average buy-in for the day so far. You get an example of my Darth Vapor there, Ian. So yes, we've got the dark matter running now. Let me get that popped up on screen so we can take a look at it. Properties, dark matter, and make sure my titles are right for that. Oh, and also for the fact that I'm no longer playing the Comet because I hate poker, basically, is the answer for that. There we go. Alrighty, so this is the dark matter nano up and running. It's going to take me a little while to get used to this new setup because I've had to flip everything onto different screens since I got to 4K just to make it work properly. There was a weird glitch when I tried to put my the spot on my desk where I would normally play poker is where the 4K screen is now. That's the screen I would normally play poker on. When I tried to put Unibet on the 4K screen, it messed up the sizing that I do on my OBS so that I had a bunch of big black borders around all of my Unibet screens. So I couldn't figure out how to solve that. So I flipped everything around, and I'm doing everything on opposite screens from what I normally do. So I might be a little bit confused today with the buttons that I click and things because everything's on a different screen than I'm used to it being on. So This is looking an awful lot like our King's hand at the beginning of the Comet, but we're going to keep value betting our overpair to the board. I mean, I think we need to keep value betting our overpair to the board here. And I think we probably just need to be all in. I thought he got there again. Jesus. I mean, he's just calling down. Wow. I mean, it just got to be able to. Gotta have to put that in my mental calculator for mental Mr. Jacks, because it's an absolute payoff wizard there, I think. Serious POW spot there. Picked up a pair of jacks on the falling star, and I think we're going to play that pretty aggressively. So we've had a raise, and I think this is just a reshove. Or sorry, this is deep impact, not falling star. I think it's just a reshove, given our previous spot. And our current chip stacks. Let me take it down, that's cool. Get out of the way with D7. So our current games, just to give you a bit of an overview. We have currently got the Deep Impact Nano in the top left. We've got the Falling Star Bounty in the top right. We've got the Dark Matter Nano in the bottom left. Currently only playing 3 tables. Going to leave it at that for the time being. Might jump into the black hole when it rolls around. Black hole Nano when it rolls around. But otherwise, I'm not gonna have too crazy of a day today, I don't think. We'll go back to the 1 table mode since it's a little easier to see there. The other weird thing about having 2 different monitor sizes is I used to be able to just move my mouse easily back and forth between the 2 monitors because they were the same size, they were the same resolution. Now with different resolutions, when I'm on the 4K screen, when I try to move over to the 1080 screen, if I'm not at the top of my 4K screen, it won't go across because there's only 1080, whereas there's 1900 pixels down, on, if that makes sense, on the 4K screen. So there's a bunch of space where it just hits a wall, and the cursor doesn't go anywhere. So it's very frustrating, and I'm going to have to learn. I'm going to have to learn when I'm moving between screens now to always have my mouse at the top of the screen instead of trying to move down at the bottom of the screen. Because I used to be able to move anywhere. I used to be able to just move it across, back and forth at will. So it's going to be some learning. Going to be some growing pains here with the stream as I adjust to my 4K monitor. So yeah, we'll get there. But it is very nice. It is. I'm very happy to have the 4K. I'm sure once I get it calibrated and once I get used to the muscle memory of doing things on different screens and all that jazz, I think it'll be a lot better. I might end up having to go out and buy another 4K screen just to make it the same on both. So I'm, working at the same size on both. But 4K is going to be a lot nicer for video editing, that's for sure. Because it gives you a lot more room to work with. We've got a beautiful day here in Canada today. This week's been gorgeous. We've had like horrible weather the last last few weeks since pretty much all of 2019 has been just horrible, cold, lots of snow, even more so, even lots of snow for Canada in the winter, even cold for Canada in the winter. So it's been pretty ugly and pretty gross here the last few weeks, and it just broke over the weekend, and we've got what we call a Chinook here, which is Aboriginal word that I think the literal translation is snow eater, but it refers to it's basically a wind that comes in off the Pacific Ocean, which is about 1,200 kilometers to my west, and so it blows this warm, wet wind off the Pacific Ocean. That warm, wet wind hits the Rocky Mountains, which are about 600 kilometers to my west, and basically drops all of the water on the other side of the mountains, and then comes over as a warm, dry wind down the mountains into Alberta, where I live, and melts all the snow. Hence the Aboriginal term snow eater, Chinook. And we're basically the only place in Canada that has that phenomena in the wintertime. There's a lot of other parts of Canada that are still actually in a pretty gross, cold, snowy time right now. So we're pretty lucky to be able to have those, and it does happen. We haven't gotten as many of those this year as we often do, but it's a nice little feature of my part of the world that we get these Chinooks in the wintertime that warms things up. And when I say warms things up, it went from minus 20s last week to plus 15 Celsius this week. So that's the sort of temperature change a Chinook will bring. I've actually got all of my windows open in the house to air the place out, get all the nice fresh air in, because I've been basically sealed up tight for the last 4 months to keep the heat in and the cold out. So it's nice to get the windows open and get some fresh air in here again. He says as he sucks on his vape. So we picked up the second nut flush here. Pretty happy with that situation, I think. So we're going to put in a value bet here. We might have checked to see if we could get him to throw a bid in at us, but I don't think. I think a value bet was our best option there, and I think continuing that value on the river is our best option. And I'm pretty happy with him raising. I don't think I'm going to get all of my money in here. I'm never folding, of course, but I'm never shoving here either, I don't think. Yeah, and he just has the ace, of course. And he just has the ace, of course. Well, yeah, it is a little OCD. It's going to be a little weird for me to get used to. The screens are actually physically the same size. They look physically exactly the same as far as that size is concerned. Probably should have called that Queen Jack, actually, for all my chips, now that I think about it, considering all my chips is very few. So physically they're the same. It's just the resolution is different, and that does hit my OCD a little bit. Well, I think I'm calling off in the falling star with my 10-9 here and just like 3 big blind shove. Although we do have somebody else in the pot, so I might have wanted to reshove that instead. We got lucky though on the flop and ended up with top pair. He shoved back at us. Interesting. So I think we're just going to call that off. Wow, we got like super lucky on that hand, turning the 9. I don't think we were ever folding our top pair there. Picked up a 34-cent bounty on that one, so getting the booty is nice. Let's add that to our results. So that is 0.34. Cool. That puts some money up on the board. That's always nice to see. We got a double up in the deep impact, so we're still alive there. We got kings and we shoved, got called, and we held, so we're still alive on that, which is nice. Yeah, I just had a spot where I was slamming my mouse into the wall on the side of my on the side of my monitor for a couple of seconds. I have to figure out how to get used to that. So Semi-Helpa has come back over the top of us here. I don't necessarily think that means they've got a better hand than Ace-9. It could actually mean they're just super tilted over that last hand where we sucked out on them. I would be super tilted. I'm not sure I would like go 10,000 again like this, but last time they did this sort of ridiculous raise, it was because they had the better hand. So I guess we just get out of the way. Yeah, I think two 4K screens is probably at the end of the way to go. Yeah, the flush, like I said, it was against the. I sort of suspected there was a. I sort of suspected there might be ace clubs out there, so. Yeah, and my brain is still trained when I hear the poker noise to look over at this screen. And then I realize that I'm on my OBS screen and I can't actually do anything with that, and I have to look back over at this screen now. So it's going to take a little while to train my brain to look at the right screen when the noises go off. Gonna shove with my 8-9 here. I mean, I'm obviously not shoving anything. Oh, we're probably not even on that screen. No, we're not even on that screen. So let's actually go look at that screen while I've got my shove in there. Boo boo. That is. Oops. That one. There we go. Oh, we get there. We get there with a flush. Cool for a double up. Got it like that. So we're still alive in the deep impact. Still last place in chips, I think. Or close to it, anyways. But I guess you guys didn't see that one go down. I'll bring that up on. I basically shoved an 8-9 suited with like a blind and a half and ended up running out to the flush. So we got her. We got her. I would like to get a second 4K screen for sure. Price is my main concern. I'm not sure I want to drop that much money when I've got a perfectly functional 1080p screen to work with. You know, I'm one of those kind of guys. Get rid of the 5-9 here. We don't really have much to work with on the deep impact, but I think registration is closed there as well. Yeah, registration is closed on that one, so we're basically working on our last life. Oh, I guess you guys have probably noticed I'm using one of my super secret other aliases today, Flush Puppy. This one isn't too super secret. I think I've streamed Flush Puppy once before at least. It might have been back before I had many viewers though, so you guys might not have seen me streaming Flush Puppy. But I think I've streamed Flush Puppy before. I haven't really been too rigorous about keeping certain usernames for only for streaming and other usernames for when I'm off the stream. I've just been sort of changing every couple of days. I change to a new one of my other names and go back. I haven't even created a new one in a couple of weeks, so I should probably go back in and look at them. Part of it is I've got some names that I really like, and I don't want to lose them, so I don't really necessarily want to go grab other names. I did come up with another name. I think I'm gonna create a Bricky Martin character avatar at some point. Spent some time last night cutting some new ads for you guys, so I got some new old ads to run for you today. Random stuff. We got some saran wrap, some early saran wrap ads. We got some cereal ads. We got cigarette ads, of course. Love those. Love watching the utterly and completely unethical behavior of people in the cigarette ads. Oh, this is an interesting situation in the dark matter. I guess we're just getting our money in against Mr. Jack again. I guess we're just getting our money in here, right? I mean, we're never folding queens here, are we? I mean, we're never folding queens there, are we? And I mean, he just gets there. And that's exactly the way our days have been going the last couple of days. Basically, we get in with a hand that's crushing our opponent, and they just get there. You know, we're playing right. I mean, I think I'm supposed to call off there, right? I mean, I don't think I'm supposed to ever fold queens in that spot. I'm just supposed to bite the bullet when just busted the deep impact as well after putting a6 in the middle with like 4 big blinds, not getting there. So at the moment I'm only playing the falling star still. Yeah, so I mean I think I have to get my money in there. So yeah, I don't know. It's just the way our days have been going the last couple of days. It is brutal, but it's the way poker goes sometimes. You got to be able to roll with the punches, I think. I haven't been terribly good at it the last couple of days on stream. I got a little frustrated, I think, sometimes, and part of the problem is that when you get frustrated at that sort of thing, it compounds later down the road, and it makes you make rash decisions potentially later down the road as well. So yeah, just got to be able to go. That's poker, and you know, good on you, buddy, for getting your money in real bad there and sucking out on me. So yeah, so let's look at. I guess we'll definitely jump into black hole. Nano now. When it kicks off in a few minutes. So I'm just registering in that guy now. And let's put him on our tournaments list. Make sure that he's our black hole. And I'm gonna see a flop with this 5 deuce if we can get in for cheap. Guess we can't get in for cheap. Alrighty. Wasted 75 chips there, but what are you gonna do? So at the moment, the only tournament we're active in is the Falling Star Bounty. We're going to be starting the Nano Black Hole shortly when it comes up at the top of the hour. And might jump into the Abyss at the same time, the Abyss Nano at the same time. Yeah, be looking at the Dwarf Star Bounty later on. Definitely the Nano. We might even look at the big one today. Although with our day going the sort of way that it's been going. Although admittedly, I mean, we sucked out in the NMP fan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Good to see you here. Always good to see you here. You will recognize many of the fellow people in the chat with you now. It's a lot of crossover. So yeah, I mean, it's been pretty brutal in a couple of tournaments for us today. But at the same time, it's we got a pretty decent suck out in the Falling Star. Addy, good to see you, buddy. Exactly. Exactly. It's named after you, so it must be good. No, I'm going to fold this. I was going to call, but... What did Addy get the ticket for? I mean, I'm glad he did, but I'm just curious what I didn't see. Maybe I missed. Oh, was that for the? Yeah, no, I can't remember seeing. I can't remember seeing yours. Yeah. 30 minutes work in the toilet. That's got to be worth checking out. I think I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out. Yeah, the other day when I was streaming, actually, it was a few times ago. I didn't even mention it at the time because it was like one of those weird things. But I went to go do my business on the break, and I'm standing there, and I suddenly realize I'm still wearing my headset. And I'm thinking, God, I hope that all of my OBS stuff is set right and my mic actually is muted while I'm off on my break, because otherwise you guys are listening to me while I'm standing here doing this, and that would not be a lot of fun. So I'm pretty sure I'm completely muted while I'm off on the break. But if you guys have happened to have heard that from time to time, I do apologize. It's currently just before 1 o'clock in the afternoon, my time. Semi Helpa's getting money in pretty liberally, with a pretty wide range of hands. That last one was, gotta look at the replay on that one just to be sure that I saw what I think I saw. But, and where did that money go in? Yeah, it's going to be worth paying attention to what's going on with Semi-Helpa here. Let's have a quick look at this one here. In a second. Yeah, plopped an open ender. That's always nice. Let's see what we get. Once we get through this, I'll run through this other hand that's really, really, really weird. And something that we're going to need to keep our eyes on. I think we're going to try and decide if I raise or just call here and see the river. I think I'm just going to call and see the river. And I think check or a check call is the way to go. I don't think I ever get paid when I lead here, but he sometimes fires ace 10, ace jack, any of the ace queen, ace king hands, that sort of thing. A deuce he can sometimes fire here. And since we have the nuts, well, we don't have the actual nuts, but we got the virtual nuts here, so I think we got to put in the raise. Don't be too nitty. I mean, I suppose ace deuce is one of the ones we're worried about. Jack deuce, 10 deuce are pretty unlikely. Ace deuce. That is exactly the way our day has been going the last little while, folks. So not really sure how else to go. We're going to start the black hole impact or the black hole nano when we come back from the break. For now, I'm going to go to the break, and we'll be back in a few short minutes.
Ladies, controlling household odors is an all-day job, not just when you're cooking fish or airing out smoke-filled rooms. Why? Because offensive odors linger in your home for hours. You may not notice them because you've become accustomed to them, but folks coming in from outdoors are sure to smell them. So, play safe. Odor condition your home with Wizard Wick Deodorizer. It keeps any room in your home sweet-smelling 24 hours a day. Simply raise the wick, and away goes fear of stale tobacco smells, the embarrassing cooking odors of fish, onions, cabbage. Unpleasant smells in any room. Yes, you're safe with Wizard Wick Deodorizer because it works as a continuous odor conditioning unit. Get Wizard Wick Deodorizer, only 39 cents. Other Wick deodorizers cost up to 69 cents, so you save 30 cents. Get Wizard Green Wick for pine scent, Wizard Pink Wick for delicate spring bouquet.
At this time of year, with coughs all around, you need a cough drop that really works.
Vicks Medicated Cough Drop, regular flavor. Vicks Medicated Cough Drop, New Wild Cherry flavor.
The only cough drops medicated with throat-soothing ingredients of Vicks Vapor Rub. Really medicated to bring you faster, more effective relief from dry, husky throat, coughs of colds. Pick your flavor.
Vicks Regular.
Or
New Wild Cherry.
the same effective medication, the same wonderful relief. Vicks Medicated Cough Drops.
Folks, here's a youngster whose mom really knows the score. You know what this is, Johnny?
Sure, it's juvenile. My mom gives me some every day. She says it's to make me gain weight and grow.
And, does it?
I guess so. I sure get awful hungry. Mom says I eat more than Dad does.
Does it make you feel good, too?
I always feel good. I'm pretty strong.
Well, by golly, I guess you are, young fella. I wouldn't want to tangle with you. You know, Johnny, I think that a lot of mothers would like to help their youngsters gain weight and grow, just like you. Mothers, the Council of Parents magazine commends Juvenile for your child. You see, Juvenile is the blood-building, appetite-building vitamin and iron tonic that your child may need to gain weight and grow, and for energy, too. And this is especially important during these summer months ahead because the youngsters play harder and they naturally burn up energy a lot faster. And believe me, the results may amaze you. This big 16-ounce bottle of Juvenile, now enriched with vitamin B12, is only $1.98 at all drugstores. And mothers, you know the youngsters really like Juvenile. Tell them why, Johnny.
Sure. Juvenile tastes like lollipops. It's good.
This is aluminum. Nature made it light. Alcoa made it plentiful and low in price. This is aluminum, a new and better way to protect food, to cook the tastiest Christmas dinner you ever had. Wherever foil, an Alcoa aluminum product is today's #1 food saver. It prevents shrinkage during cooking, seals in food flavors, it saves work, too, with no messy pans to scour. Used in millions of households, it keeps stored food fresher longer. There will be more and more wherever foil next year when our country's defense needs have been met. Wherever foil for the kitchens of America. Aluminum from the ever-expanding facilities of America's foremost producer, Alcoa, Aluminum Company of America.
This is the CBS Television Network.
Join the army that everybody can belong to. The Army of Community Chest Campaign Workers. 60,000 volunteers are needed to carry on this war against broken homes, all kinds of trouble. Do your part in keeping our home front strong. Be a Community Chest Campaign Worker.
Alrighty, so we're back again. I am going to run you through this hand that happened just before the break. I was going to show you this hand, but it's not as relevant as the hand that I busted on, which we ran at the end. I mean, I don't really think there's much else I can do on that one. I guess I don't really need to raise the river there, but I can just call, and when he raises, I guess I can fold because, I mean, ace deuce is obviously one of the big hands that he has there. But, I mean, I think he's also potentially on hands like 8-9 there, clubs, things like that he's decided to turn into a bluff. So, I mean, I don't know. And I honestly think ace deuce and deuces are the only hands that I'm really thinking about there because 10 deuce and jack deuce just probably aren't there, I don't think. I don't know. It's a weird spot. Anyways, I'm in the black hole nano as well. And yes, by the way, Piano Cat, I agree. Ian and NMP need to be VIPs here for sure. 100%. So I'm just getting all of my stuff set up to get the black hole up on screen, and we'll get the abyss started here in a second as well. So we've got the black hole in slot 2. Turn that on. Let's get the replay off. So that's our black hole nano. And I'm going to register into the abyss as well, I think. The abyss nano as well. Okay, so that one will be here. Good evening, Night Shopper. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Always good to have you around. So we got the abyss. It's been kind of a brutal day for us so far. But hey, we're trying to keep a positive outlook on life. And we are now playing this here black hole nano that's up on the screen now. Whoops. Oops. And we've also got the Abyss Nano going as well. Need to add the Abyss Nano to my tracking sheet. Nano Abyss. Alrighty. Alrighty, so we haven't gotten 0 so far today. We did take 1 booty in the Falling Star, but then we got our dreams crushed by the full house on the river when we hit our straight. We'll also jump into the Dwarf Star bounty. Let's go and get that kicked off. Make sure that that's in our... Here's the Dwarf Star Bounty Nano. I could play the real Dwarf Star. Given the way our day's been going, I'm not entirely sure that's the best move for today, however, to use my 25 euro ticket when we're getting hit by a shovel on a regular basis here. Dwarf Star. Alrighty, lots of zeros in the wins column for today, but that's the way it goes. It's great to see everybody here. It's always fun to hang out. Even when I have a losing day, it's always more fun when I'm hanging out with other people on stream. I played a couple yesterday, just got my ass kicked in a couple of tournaments, and I was just like, that's it, I'm done. But you know, when you guys are around, it's more fun. I'll keep playing. You should have one of your avatars be Kitty Wizard, Piano Cat. I think Kitty Wizard would be a cool name. So currently 2 games rolling, the Abyss Nano that we just jumped into and the Black Hole Nano that we just jumped into, and we're only playing 2 games that we just jumped into because we busted everything else so far today. And we busted it in rather brutal fashion. I mean, I think I'm always supposed to call there with the queens. And when he just gets there with the 4s, that's just the way poker goes. I think I probably could have saved myself some chips by not raising and or not calling his re-raise on the last hand in the Falling Star. But, I mean, I also don't necessarily think getting in there with... like I said, I think there's certainly hands that he can be bluffing in that spot. So I don't think I don't think I can necessarily always fold there. Even when he shoves back at me. I mean, yes, he's going to have ace deuce there some of the time, but I also think he's going to have missed draws that he's turned into a bluff. So we've turned the diamond draw here. Not the best diamond draw, but a diamond draw anyways. And we still have our straight draws. So I think we're not going anywhere. So I don't think we can value bet this with the diamonds because there's the queen and the ace that beat us. So I think we just check back and take our showdown value. The queen's there. Yeah, I mean it's exactly the sort of situation we're finding ourselves in the last few days, and we can only escape from that so many times, right? When that sort of thing happens, when you're nut over second nut, or second nut over third nut kind of thing. It's pretty gross spots. Ace king here. We'll put in the raise, I think. Few familiar faces on this table. Well, at least one. Margaret to my left is somebody I play against quite a bit in these nanos. Hopefully I'm not going to have to contend with you in any of my nano games here today, Ian. I'm going to do a delayed c-bet on this board. I could bet, but I'm basically only representing the jack at this point. On the flop, I think I've got a much more credible c-bet now than I did on the flop. And I mean, I suppose I just check behind for showdown value here. I think any bet I make is turning my hand into a bluff, and I think I'm too strong to turn into a bluff at this stage. And I've got check down value. I got showdown value, I think, so. Yep. And I think any hand there, yeah, I think I'm definitely turning my hand into a bluff if I put in a bet there, so I think I just have to check it back and take my showdown value. So we flop top pair. Fairly happy with that. Gonna put in a bet, value bet. Get rid of the 8-10. All right, Mike, we'll see you in a bit. Yeah, it's the way we drown our sorrows when we don't win. Night shoppers, we go to the pub. When you're a winner, you don't have to go to the pub and drown your sorrows. Got a few backdoor draws here. Overcards to the board. So we won't be in terrible shape in this hand. None of our backdoors came in though, so I don't think Jack High is going to win very often here. So I think I'm actually going to throw a bet out as a bluff. Because I don't think Jack High is going to win very often at Showdown. Cool, I should throw some saddies in. I've got a €2 Unibet Open ticket I need to spin up into a seat. They're raising a lot. So this is actually going to... I don't know, at a certain point they're going to start to wonder what we're raising. We've been raising good hands though, so, you know. So we got an overpair. And basically at this point it's only the 5 that we're particularly worried about. So at this point we've essentially just started digging ourselves out of the hole we got ourselves in the abyss early on. And we're pretty close to dug ourselves out. I keep forgetting if this one is a rebuy or just a or just for late entries. No re-entry. Okay, yeah. So there is. And there's still re-entry for 32 minutes on this one. I should start playing some of the saddies for those bigger tournaments. Actually, I haven't played any of those. I play the generic ones more so, mostly because I've always been focusing on the Unibet Open ticket path, because that's sort of what my ultimately that's what my challenge is all about, is to get into one of the Unibet Opens. But I should start looking at some of those because I think that there's a good chance to make cash, and the more cash I have, the more opportunities I have to be able to buy into bigger satellites, so I have fewer steps to get through. So I'm going to call behind here, largely in position with my ace-9. Yet Margaret takes over our position, but our ace is going to be good here most of the time. May's raise early was just a min raise. And he's now checked the flop, which to me indicates that he's probably worried about the ace and the queen out there. Yeah, so it makes sense that he was either just on a lark there, or he was playing a smallish pair that he wanted to see if he could take down pre-flop, and then when the ace comes, he's just done with it. It's the way it seems. I do play at 888 sometimes as well. I should throw some 888 stuff on the stream sometime. I don't play there very much. I find the interface just really feels cartoony to me. But I should play over there more. I actually have a fairly good record on 888 as well, so I just don't play there very much. So it's a very small sample size. Guess I should be playing my 7-4. Never fold 7-4 offsuit, people. Yeah, 5-4, we'll get rid of that. Just put in a raise from the button with 10-9 on the black hole table. And we flop the second nuts. That's a phrase we've heard before. And it's gotten us in a lot of trouble today. So, but I mean, we got the second nuts. So I don't think we can go anywhere. And I think even just calling at this stage is probably not what we want to do. Well, yeah, see, that's why. But we do have the straight flush draw, which is decent, and we do still have the virtual. We do still have the straight nuts. I don't think I'm going to bet this though. King of diamonds would be nice on the river. So we have the second nut flush now. We've heard that story before as well, and it's gotten us into trouble today. When everybody checks, is the king ever out there when they check here? Are they waiting for, are they trying to trap someone into betting? I'm going to go for some value here. Well, that hand turned into a lot scarier than it needed to be, I think. Cool. See, I don't find the Unibet interface, and I guess cartoony is the wrong word for it, because I see what people mean if they call the Unibet interface cartoony. I don't even know how to describe it with 888. It feels like it's children's software, or it feels like it's maybe built on technology that's 6 years old or 7 years old or something. It just doesn't feel like it's as slick or as professional as Unibet or even Stars and the new. Party Poker used to feel the same way to me, although the new Party Poker interface looks much better. I haven't played much with it, but it looks much better now with the new Party Poker interface. But Party Poker used to feel the same way to me, and 888 still does. Full Tilt actually felt the same way to me as well before it went down. So maybe it's because they're all just sort of based on that older style, older software template, and maybe 888 is still based on that, which is why it feels so weird. But yeah. So Queen 10 suited. Go put in a raise with that. We get insta re-raised. Let's see what the flop brings us. Flop brings us top pair. I think we're going to be pretty happy with that. Not so thrilled with the turn. Probably would have preferred to have raised the flop now that we see the turn, but what are you going to do? It does feel like we just got outturned on this hand. Yeah. Sort of expected that to go check check at the end. The bear ace shouldn't really be betting there into that action, I don't think. And I almost never get an ace to fold there, I don't think, with my bet. So I think if I raise the flop, I might get him off the hand. But he might just be sticky as well. You know, it's hard to say. I guess it depends on the size of the raise, but. Hey, Cleeds. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Always good to have you hanging out here on the Mothership. Gonna have the Dwarf Star Bounty starting up here in about 15 minutes, the Nano version. Currently playing 3 games as we've busted out of everything else so far today. Sorry, only playing 2 games at the moment. One moment. So currently playing 2 games at the moment. We got the Abyss Nano going, which is currently not being shown on stream, and the one you're currently seeing as I'm speaking is the Black Hole Nano. We got the Abyss Nano as well, and we're going to have the Dwarf Star here starting up in a few short moments. Let's do that. Let's land the mothership on a final table. Let's beam up a trophy. Let's beam up a trophy to the mothership today. I think that would be a good idea. We are currently 9 of 20 in the Abyss Nano with 20 minutes left in late registration on that one. Only a total of 21 people entered in that one so far. Thank you, Cleeds. Appreciate that. Yeah, they made me update today as well. I had to grab a new client today. $888 prompted me to update when I was doing my Sunday brief this week, but it looks pretty much the same to me. I had an update, but yeah, it looks pretty much exactly the same. So yeah, I'm not really sure what they did to update, if they updated it at all, but we've had a fortuitous turn of events over on the Abyss Nano table, where we got in for a cheap flop, and we flopped 2 pairs. I've never played on that one, so I don't know anything about 32 rad or MNP. I'm pretty limited in my scope of online poker. I played 888, Poker Stars, a little bit of Party Poker way back in the day. I haven't played on there in years. Played on Full Tilt back in the day for a little bit, although not very much. Basically, not until they got taken over by Stars. They didn't play on Full Tilt when it was like just Full Tilt. And PokerStars are the only ones that and then Unibet, of course, are the only ones that I've ever really played on. I tried to play on Neil Channing's Black Belt Poker site when it was around. Never actually did get to play online there because I always had deposit issues trying to get money onto the site. But I did play in in a live event of his that was a lot of fun in Nottingham in 2012. That was a great ton of fun. And I got to hang out with him for a bit over the dinner break, and he's a very charming fellow. He's a very charming fellow. Of course, I'm sure he was trying to put on the best face for a guest from overseas that was attending his tournament. So, I mean, I'm sure that was part of it, but he's a very charming fellow. Hello, MVE. Good to see you, buddy. Good luck in that one. I got my soul crushed in that one earlier today, so it's all yours, buddy. I'm done. I got my soul crushed already. I was the pre-flop raiser in this hand, so I think I'm going to continue here. My backdoor ace is obviously quite nice. And I think the ace-queen is actually going to be good here at showdown, a reasonable amount. But I think we're just going to check back here and see what happens on the river. We probably just check back. I think our ace-queen is good a little bit less, but we still have showdown value, I think, so I don't think there's any reason to turn our hand into a bluff. Wizardwick, nice one. Good stuff, Piano Cat. I shall look for Wizardwick on the tables. And yes, MVE, I agree. It's lovely to see Ian in my channel following me, watching me play piddling stakes poker, because it's kind of fun. It's a perfectly good reason to come to the stream. Perfectly good reason to come to the stream, Ian. I think there's a number of people that are here for the adverts. I've had, I think it might have been Piano Cat that made the suggestion that I should run the adverts all the time. So maybe I should start a new stream. Maybe I should start a secondary stream that's just adverts 24/7. I don't know. I actually have thought of once in a while doing a classic movie stream from Never Fold Your King 9, folks. Never Fold Your King 9. Now, I have thought about doing a classic movie stream, grab some of the classic movies off of archive.org and run them, and have kind of like a movie popcorn night and so on. It doesn't really lend itself to a stream type thing because nobody wants to hear me talking over a movie that's playing. Geez, never fold your queen 4 either. I should obviously be playing every hand on this table. Go for it, MVE. Take her down. Take her down. See if the flop brings with our 4-6 here, if we can get in for cheap. It's not as cheap as I wanted, but I think we may as well stay here in position at this stage. It hasn't gone quite as planned, but I don't see it checking to me, but if it does, I'm actually firing this river, or this turn. Yeah. I knew somebody was going to fire this. Should have fired. I thought about firing the flop. But I don't think I clear out the whole table when I do that, which is the only objective to doing that. So Yeah, I mean, I think if you once you figure out how to survive these nanos, you're probably better equipped when you go higher up. I think because there's certainly weird spots that come up in here. But that's part of the other thing is that you adapt your strategy to the nanos, and the spots you're adapting to just don't happen when you go to the higher buy-in levels. I don't think so. It's interesting. That said, I actually haven't seen a whole lot of difference in play between, say, $1 and $2 or €1 and €2 singularities versus 10 and 20 cent nanos. I just haven't seen a whole lot of difference in the play. So maybe there isn't. Maybe you do find yourself in the same spots. So we call here with top pair, and I think we're going to call again with top pair. He can obviously be on a better jack or the straight here, but we've got outs to the bigger straight, and I think top pair is just too strong. Now, obviously things like ace queen just got there, any queen just got there on us, but our two pair is still probably strong enough that we have to go, and he has a set. That's a reasonable spot to be in. I'm not surprised. I'm not upset with the way that went. Other than the fact that I lost, of course. It would be nice to win it, but yeah, I quite enjoy the ads. It's a fun little thing, and I kind of do that as my day job, such as it is these days. Like I say, I work from home and I do a lot of stuff with Poker News, but that's actually all tied in through a online marketing firm that the editor of Poker News Canada started up a few years ago, and I've been involved with for the last year and a bit now. And yeah, so the marketing and the ads, it's always kind of been a fascination for me. Sort of even back when I was a little kid, I was always fascinated with, not so much fascinated with ads as in I want that product and I want to go buy it. I was always fascinated with how they put the ads together and how they were trying to sell things and that sort of thing. It was always something that, that I was more fascinated with the ad itself than I was with what the ad was advertising, if that makes sense, even as a kid. So I wasn't sure whose suggestion it was. I think, and I know it was just a joke, but yeah, there actually has been suggestions that we run the ads the whole time. The problem with that is I actually it would consume my entire life to cut all the ads together to be able to run them 24/7, or even for the whole time that I was playing. Get rid of the 10-5. I think I get rid of the A6 as well. Ace King now on the Abyss. Definitely put in a raise with this. Sizing was a bit of a question mark for me. And it was initially going to shove, but the shove seems a bit big there. But maybe... Put in the C-bet here. We just had our dwarf star pop up as well. I mean, I think when I C-bet there, I'm not actually representing that I hit the board. I'm actually representing that I raised pre-flop with a big pair. Is sort of what I'm trying to rep there. So the dwarf star nano just popped up. Where are you, dwarf star? Where are you, dwarf star? There you are, dwarf star. Well, it could be a short day in the dwarf star bounty. As we get Jack-Jack in our first hand. So I think I'm probably calling here to see a river. I'm obviously going to be behind a king a lot of times. But I think there's also some draws out there that might could be behind a 9 here too some of the time. I mean, I don't think my aces are ever good. I mean, I don't think my jacks are ever good here. So I got to get out of the way, I think. But it's just gross to have to fold there. King 9 is good. King 9 is very good. Yeah, I think later for sure. Piano, we can do that. Yeah, no, that was my boss letting me know that he set some stuff up for me and Google Ads to go do some other stuff later. I've never been one who cared much for job titles, but apparently I'm account executive for poker operations and data analyst, if that means anything to anybody. So we've avoided our first bear trap in the dwarf star nano there with our jacks. Get rid of the queen 4. You guys aren't seeing that hand, so you won't know what I'm talking about, but that was on the abyss table. It's currently what we're playing at. Abyss Nano top left, Black Hole Nano top right, Dwarf Star Nano bottom left. Head back to our main view again, so it's a little easier to see the poker that way. I'm starting to get used to my layout this way. I'm going to have to... It's going to take a little bit more time to work it all out, I think. But we're getting there. We're getting there now. It's not terrible. There's a few things about it I haven't worked out yet. When I moved my OBS screen over onto the 4K monitor, all of my lettering got like super tiny all of a sudden. I got to figure out how to change that. But otherwise, it's not bad. And actually having the OBS over on my 4K monitor is nice in a lot of ways because it gives me room to actually have OBS and other things visible on the screen at the same time, which I couldn't really do before. I didn't really have space for it. So I think we're calling here with draws that we have. And we technically improved, I guess, on the river. Technically, sort of. But, yeah, we're probably not good against anything that's been betting for value up until this point. We were definitely looking for the club to come in. Or the straight. So I don't think we can continue with just a pair of sixes. Wow. So King Rod was just basically on it the whole time there. Interesting. Interesting. He was just basically on it the whole time. Coming up on a break here pretty quick. Got some more ads queued up for you guys. What do we got for qualifier action coming up? What do we got for qualifier action? Let's go filter for qualifiers. Hansi Pensy. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's supposed to, and I think I need to go in and look at my font settings in Windows for the various monitors, and I might be able to fix it that way. But yeah, it's gonna be weird. Anyways, I'm gonna head off on the break. I will see you guys in a few short minutes.
Now, at your favorite grocery store, the most amazing food wrap ever developed, Saran Wrap.
Have you tried Saran Wrap? It really is amazing. Saran Wrap is crystal clear plastic. It keeps everything you wrap in plain sight. And look, Saran Wrap clings like magic. It makes a neat package of anything you wrap, without strings or tape or rubber bands. Foods stay fresh far longer and taste better, too, because the flavor is locked in. Now you can prepare sandwiches for picnics and lunch boxes ahead of time and be sure they'll stay fresh and tasty. You see, Saran Wrap is a wonderful time saver as well as a food saver. Prove it in your own kitchen. Buy a roll of Saran Wrap today and you won't be without it again.
Get Saran Wrap at your grocer's. Saran Wrap is a product of the Dow Chemical Company.
Mildred, lend me a dime for the dryer. Oh, sure. Would you mind? Thanks. You say you're having trouble with Herman, Mildred?
Oh, not Herman. Herman's shirts. Would you mind? That dirt on the collar. My detergent and bleach just can't get it out.
Oh, you must be using a weak bleach. To get out dirt like that, you should add Clorox. Here, look at George's shirt. Clorox adds cleaning power that gets out dirt, detergents, and weak bleaches leave in. And Clorox works just as well on pillowcases, socks, towels, everything.
Say, you know, this Clorox bleach is a real...
Really, mister, this is a private conversation.
Well, I would...
Remember, the added cleaning power of Clorox gets out dirt, detergents, and weak bleaches leave in.
And now, a word from our sponsor, Kindness from Clairol.
The next time a Kindness commercial comes on, don't watch it. Do it. Give your hair a complete conditioning treatment with Kindness from Clairol, the instant protein conditioner that makes limp hair look healthy again. All it takes is a minute from you and a little kindness from Clairol.
Everyone, every day, wears out a part of his skin. Thousands of skin cells are worn out every 24 hours. Nature replaces them by pushing other skin cells to the surface. You can condition this fresh skin surface with Ammon's Medic Powder. Ammon's fights skin bacteria, helps prevent minor skin irritations. So condition that fresh skin surface. Enjoy soothing, cooling skin comfort all over every day with Ammon's.
Excuse me, sir. I see you're busy, but...
Yeah, I'm kind of busy.
Have you ever stopped to think what we would do without...
Without what?
I mean, you take a disaster like the floods in Louisiana. Whose job was it to go right in there with medical supplies, clothing, nurses?
Well,
And who were the people who pitched right in and did the work? And listen, sir, who is responsible by charter of Congress for helping the welfare and morale of our servicemen and their families? Anywhere a soldier goes, who is there to help him?
Why, these
same one? And wait a minute. How about accident prevention and first aid training? Who teaches your children water safety, conducts home nursing courses, trains volunteers to serve the community in emergencies? Oh, yes. And who provides blood that saves thousands of lives every year?
Well,
honestly, what would we ever do without...
The Red Cross? Well, we couldn't do without the Red Cross. That's why it's wise to give to the Red Cross.
And why is it wise?
Well, because they need the money.
There's only one way that you can find out whether you like our product, Skippy Peanut Butter. And that is to taste it with your very own taster. You'll never find out how good Skippy is by listening to us talk about it, because you can't taste with your ear. You can't discover how good Skippy is by looking at it on television, because you can't taste with your eye. Even thinking about Skippy doesn't help, because you can't taste it with your brain. In fact, your brain may think you don't like any kind of peanut butter, because it's too oily and sticky and hard to digest. But Skippy's secret patented process eliminates these drawbacks. So try Skippy with your very own taster. You'll find it tastes exactly like plump, fancy, fresh roasted peanuts. And if you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy.
We're back with 3 tables again, the Abyss Nano, Black Hole Nano, and the Dwarf Star Bounty Nano. Got a pair of 7s here in the Black Hole. And we're going to put in arrays with them, I think. Thank you, Hensi. I appreciate that. Satan Wrap. Yeah, I like the ads. It's a fun look back in time. Fun look at the way people behaved and thought and tried to sell things and wanted to buy things, and it's just very interesting. Yeah, exactly. I'm cool. If it's if you guys don't want to come for the low stakes poker, that's cool. I get that. I totally get that. Come stay for the ads, because the ads are cool. There's one coming up, and I think it'll be the next break. It's going to mix it up a little bit. It's mostly all these old ads like this, but then stuck in the middle, there's a promo from the late 80s or the early 90s that's just astonishingly good as well. So it kind of time jumps a little bit, but it's still kind of fun, I think. And I'm gonna be going into. I'm not always going to be in the 50s with my ads. I'm going to be going through different eras and different things as time goes on. That said, I think most of the ads that I find in the public domain now are going to be from the 50s and the 60s time period. There's going to be less from the 70s and the 80s, I think. Interestingly enough, I also noticed the video quality of the stuff that we get that I'm seeing from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s is way worse than the stuff I'm getting out of the 50s and the 60s. So the quality of the way that they recorded stuff has gone way down, went way down in the reading time, it seems like. Nine eight, under the gun, probably get rid of that offsuit. I was looking at qualifiers. There's a cent roll flip open. Gonna jump in that. Oh, it's not open yet. Opens in less than a minute. So by the time you hear my voice saying there's a cent roll flip open, it will be open. Scent roll is open, and I am in it. I have also, using a €2 Unibet open ticket, to roll myself into a €10 ticket in the 6-ticket guarantee that is just about to come up. So I'm in it. We're in it to win it. 20 minutes time. Yeah, small profit. It's not, small profit is better than no profit at all, my friend. Well done. Well done. Just getting into the money is a valuable thing. Obviously want to go deeper, but it's never terrible to walk away from a poker table with more money than you sat down with. That is never a terrible thing. This is another spot where we're drawing to the second nut flush, which feels kind of gross, but we'll try it anyways. And I mean, we do have bottom pair here as well, but I'm not really thinking too much about that, the value of that. One of these days I need to figure out how to use my PO solver. I downloaded the free version of PO solver a while back and opened it up. So we didn't get our flush, but we did get 2 pairs. Interesting. And I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that I don't actually know how to use the thing. So I'm going to have to sit down and spend some time figuring out how to use it. Yeah, I'll get rid of the 10-9 there, I think. I do think I need to start looking at some formal or semi-formal training anyways. I've mostly gotten where I've gotten just from observation and playing the games and reading some material here and there. Watching people on Twitch and listening and asking questions and things like that. So I haven't really done any formal training, and I haven't really spent much time working with solver programs at all. As I said, I don't even really know how to use the one that I downloaded, so I do need to, I think, spend some time working on that this year if I want to progress too much farther. Welcome aboard, Archibald. Thank you for the follow. I hope you survived transport into the mothership. safely. We've just put our stack on the line with a pair of 8s here in the Abyss Nano. After a limp from Crazy Papa, who we played with before, we hit the set. We river the full house. Nice little double up there. Crazy Papa is a familiar face to us. I cannot confirm that Crazy Papa is a Papa. I can confirm that Crazy Papa is crazy as fuck. You know, that's just the way it goes. I can't confirm that he's actually a Papa, however. I've jumped into the €2 qualifier to €10 Unibet Open tickets that starts in 15 minutes or so, if anybody wants to. Probably 12 minutes or so by the time you hear this, by the time you hear me say this. Maybe 10 minutes or so by the time you hear me say this. So if anybody else wants to jump in, there's 7 people in it, so I think it's going to run, but it may actually have... Yes, it will run with 7, so we've got enough people, but if anyone wants to jump in, there are 6 tickets available. So with only 7 people in, there's a massive overlay in that one at the moment. So feel free to come get in on some of the overlay if you like. Yeah, I mean, you play a €1 qualifier with an add-on, and you rebuy a couple of times, and you spent €4 for your €4 ticket. What's the point on that? I think it'd be pretty easy to spend €5 to win a €4 ticket in a tournament like that if you weren't paying attention. Uh-oh, do we want to look at this link, Piano Cat? Or is it another toxic community link? Yeah, that might be a winner. That one might be a winner. I assume you're talking about the poker table picture. That's funny. The cat one's kind of cute as well. Well, my flip just came up. I put in a 4x raise here with my ace king after the limp. Take it down pre, happy with that. Only 5 people getting paid in this Abyss Nano, so we got a ways to go to the money yet, but we are sitting 4th of 19, so it's not doing terrible. We lost the flip. No surprise there. We never win flips. Oh, yeah, the MooBot is... I need to get in and play with my MooBot settings. Yeah, go for it. The like I say, there's still tons. There was still tons of overlay when I registered for it. I'm not sure I should have been folding there to Crazy Papa, but as I said, he's certifiably crazy, so could have been there with anything, including hands that are quite a bit ahead of us, like fives and things like that. Yeah, I think there's probably a character limit on a bunch of symbols at one time. Huh. Let me have a quick boo at my MooBot settings for spam while we're playing here. I don't see what he typed anymore, but yeah, I don't see what he typed anymore, but let's go general settings. Oh, no, I think it's probably in message filters. The timeout's way too long for one thing, so I dropped that to 180 for sure. Minimum characters in a message before filtering. Maximum characters allowed in a word is 30. That seems reasonable. 20 seems reasonable for minimum filtering. Alrighty, well I dropped a timeout. Everything else looks. I'm actually not sure what the message was because I can't see it, but. Oh, okay, cool. I'll. Oh wow, so it thought the link was. Maybe. Weird. It was a spam message though, so. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure how to sort that out actually. Good luck, Hensi. Hold that. Alrighty, we should be getting the qualifier popping up here shortly. 3 minutes time. Yeah, I do use the BTTV plugin. Oh, it was only 10 seconds. Okay, good. Well, I think Piano Cat may have untimed you out because according to my settings, it was 600 seconds, which would have been like 10 minutes, which would have been pretty gross. Which is way too long for anybody for a first offense, at least. So I dropped it to 3 minutes anyways. So it's 180 seconds now, but. Please, no one go complain about me in chat that or in the community that I'm a dick that times people out for no reason. Yeah, I might just have to activate the feature. I haven't actually. I'm gonna have to go look at more details as to what else I need to do over there, because I haven't really looked much at the settings of that. I basically just clicked the button that said activate BTTV. So I'll need to check that out maybe after the stream. Let me just have a quick look if I can see it here. Let's bring the qualifier just kicked off. $11 players in the qualifier now. Fold the 7 deuce. Just got the qualifier starting up as well. Six tickets available, 12 people currently in there. I imagine that's going to grow fairly substantially. But we need 30 entries to hit the guarantee, so there's still quite a ways to go before the overlays filled up. Actually, more than 30 entries given that there's rake on this. But hey, we'll put in a raise with our ace from the button. No reason to start the game knitting shit up by folding aces from the button, right? I'll have to check if my Unibet free roll challenge hashtag gets caught up by the filters or not. So we get a call from our raise, and the C-bet gets through. So we've built up a small stack in the King 10 could definitely be another raise. Queen 7's a fold. Oh, wow, that's interesting. I was sure, it must have been a different, I was looking at the spam settings, must have been a different setting that caught him then, because, or maybe I misread the settings, because I was sure it was going to time him out for 600 seconds on that spam warning. But, cool. Alrighty. Ace King's a raise, obviously, even from under the gun. I think we're going to do it delayed on this one. See what the turn brings. Put out the bet here. We're getting the hands in the qualifier, that's for sure. At least so far, we're getting the hands. We're getting the hands. So raise, 3-bet. I guess we want a 4-bet. Especially given the previous action. We're probably going to get played back at pretty light in a lot of spots. And I mean, obviously, we're never folding here. Sweet, we hold. A little worried there when the straight cards start coming in, but we managed to hold. So I think at this point the qualifier gets super boring because we pretty much fold every frickin' hand at this point. Well, that's not true. I mean, obviously we put pressure on certain spots, but we've not really got one that we could necessarily ride to the money. But in these ones, getting a double up at this point means that you can pretty much ride to the money in a lot of cases. Put in a raise with that. I've actually got raises on 3 tables at the moment. 3 out of 4 of my tables at the moment. I took down one of them, got calls in another one, flop top pair, and we're still waiting to see what happens on this one. Got bet into with the top pair, so I'm going to call that. Bet again with our ace queen. Geez, we're getting the hands. We are getting the hands over on the qualifier table, that's for sure. I shoved 18 big blinds on the black hole table, got it through. Oh, I guess my 9 can never be good here. Put in a raise with the ace king here, I think. And call off with our ace king. Sweet. Sweet. We get there and we hold. We unfortunately did not take the bounty on that one though, because the other players had us slightly out chipped and took the other pot. Get rid of my bottom pair there, I think. So currently, we are playing these 4 tables. Top left, we got the Abyss Nano. Top right, we got the Black Hole Nano. Bottom left, Dwarf Star Bounty Nano. Bottom right, qualifier to Unibet Open, €10 tickets. 6 tickets available. Ant-Man, good to see you, buddy. Good to see ya. We've had a happy situation happening down here on the I'm all in on the Black Hole Nano for 12 big blinds. And I'm re-raising the that gives us a booty in the Dwarf Star. 7-cent booty. 7-cent booty. We're taking the booties. We're taking the booties. Let's get you back to the main scene so you can actually see the poker going on. And let me enter my booty. 7-cent booty. Well, so far booties are the only money we've been taking today, but we are taking booties, so that's okay. I'm all in again in the black hole with pair of 4s this time. I doubled up, but this time we do not survive, and we are done in the black hole. I don't think I'm going to fire another bullet there. Am I going to fire another bullet there? Yeah, we'll fire one more bullet at the black hole. We'll fire one more bullet at the black hole. Alrighty, so we're in for 2 bullets in the black hole today. As hasn't been... Early part of the day was pretty crappy, Ant-Man, I gotta say. But the last part of the day so far has not been going terribly. We'll see how it goes from here, but it hasn't been going terribly so far. Of course, I'm folding full houses on the Dwarf Star bounty table, as you just saw there. But what are you going to do? I am going to put in a raise with my jacks, though. I wonder if I want to just reshove over on Bogdan. I think I do, actually. Yes, we get there. I had to check for a second because the 3 came and I was like, did he? No, but the 2 was just there for. Just worried about the 2 when it came on the flop because of straight possibilities. 6-cent bounty. Overcards. I think I'm going to see 1 street. I think my ace high can be good here some of the time against other aces. Not against ace 4, though. It was a good hand. Nine deuce we'll get rid of. Yeah, so it hasn't been going terribly. I'm 7 of 11 in the Abyss Nano, with 5 getting paid. Not doing so hot in the black hole, but I have picked up a couple of booties in the Dwarf Star bounty, and we got a decent stack there. 7 of 54 at the moment. So yeah, we got some possibilities. We're also playing a qualifier for a €10 ticket to the Unibet Open qualifiers, where we're 2 of 13 with 6 tickets available. So one of the things I do notice about the Unibet software is that the lobbies seem to be a little bit weird sometimes, not always quite up to date, not always entirely accurate. It's not that big of a deal, but it can be problematic around the bubble. What I've sort of found is that if you pay attention to when the table goes hand for hand, that will be your indication of being in the money, even if the status bar does not indicate that you're in the money yet. I've had that happen a couple of times a week or two ago. So yeah, that's one of the weird things about Unibet I've noticed. It's better lately than it was when I first started playing here a few months ago. So I think they've improved it in the last few software updates, but I still noticed the other day I was back trying to look at my hand histories and I'm not getting anything in that window at all. Let's see if that's still the case today. So I'll go back to my profile, history, and yeah, we're getting nothing in that window at all. Be nice to have some hand histories, but so gross. I just got sucked out on again in the black hole nano. Some dude calling my... never mind. I'm done in the black hole. I raised pair of nines pre-flop. Ace 5 calls. Hits a 5 on the flop that is 8 high. I'm betting he's calling. The turn is a brick. I bet he calls, and the river is another 5. I don't really get what I'm doing wrong, because I should not be getting sucked out on this often, I wouldn't think. But you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Alrighty, so the black hole is done. I did not rebuy in that one again because it's just gross when that happens. So registration is closed in the qualifier now, and we have ended up with 17 total entries. 14 people remaining. 6 tickets are up for grabs. And we are 3 of 14 at the moment in satellite mode, which means we're not getting involved very often in that tournament. Ace King and the Dwarf Star. Putting a raise from under the gun there, I think. Flop top pair. There's going to be a King 9 out there some of the time, but that doesn't matter to us anymore. I think we've got a payoff wizard over here. I think we got a payoff wizard over here. I think we got a payoff wizard. He's continuing to play pretty much every hand. Just lost a bunch of my stack in the qualifier because I didn't take my own advice and stay out of the way. I still got 2,700 chips there, but put in a raise with Ace Queen, got re-raised. I decided to shove over top of him instead of folding like I should have done, and he called me with King King and stayed there. Not the best move I could have made for a satellite, I don't think. I shouldn't put him on a bluff when he 3-bets me there. I should be putting him on a value hand, and I should know my Ace Queen is behind. Not a good play on my part. Since you guys didn't actually see that happen, let's put that up on stream, and I'll show you guys how it all went down. Give me a second here. Give me a second here. There we go. Let's bring that up on screen. Right. So it's a fairly. I'm sitting with the second biggest stack or third biggest stack in the tournament. Pretty happily sitting in a ticket position at this point in time. And we get dealt a nice hand, which is the kiss of death in poker a lot of times, right? Because you like to play your nice hands. So we put in a raise with our, when we could just open fold our Ace Queen here in this spot that we're in with the chip stack that we have and everything. So first mistake is we actually decide to open our Ace Queen. It's not a terrible mistake, but it could certainly be, we could certainly just open fold and still have a 5,600 chip or 5,900 chip stack. So we get 3-bet by crushing Mind. And at that point, we should be thinking, well, he's 3-betting us with a value hand all the frickin' time, right? We shouldn't be thinking, geez, let's come back over the top of him and push him off his bluff hand, which is what we did think. That was the wrong thing to think, because, of course, he has a value hand. He calls behind with his kings. And we don't get there, and he holds on. So yeah, not a great hand on my part. Just thought I'd replay it for you since it was not on screen. Yeah, I should have gone bigger on that river. I was pretty sure he was. I was pretty sure he was going to call me on any bet at that point. So I should have gone bigger on that river because I knew I was. I mean, I knew I was ahead there. So, yeah, I definitely should have tried to extract more value out of him, especially in a bounty as well. I should have actually tried for a stack, I think, there. Although maybe that would have been, maybe that was too ambitious, but yeah. And yeah, I know it just means that, you know, things are going right. It's frustrating when over and over and over again you're making the right plays or seemingly making the right plays and it's just not working out for you, which is poker, right? And I've just got to deal with that. So it's a little easier, I think, when I can chat things through with people on stream and stuff. So that definitely makes it nicer when I'm here. So I appreciate you guys being around for that. I definitely appreciate your advice, and I take it to heart when I can. If I disagree, I'll usually say why, and we'll usually hash it out, and you know, we'll figure it out at some point. But need new batteries for Darth Vape. Got a pair of sixes on the qualifier table, which now that I actually don't have a stack, I need to actually get some value out of if I can. And we raise and take it. Never a terrible spot to be in. I'm shoving for my life in the Abyss Nano, 8 of 11. Pair of sevens on that one. Here we go. And that one gets through as well. So we're currently down to 3 tables. We got the qualifiers still going, where we're 8 of 12 with 6 getting paid. We got the Dwarf Star Bounty, where we're 9 of 50 with 15 getting paid currently, but there's still reg open on that one. 7 of 11 in the Abyss Nano, with 5 getting paid there. Yeah, that's all very good points, Hansi. Oh, we're on break. I didn't realize we were on break. Cool. We're going to head off for a break. Yeah, I really should not have thought about... I mean, maybe I call there and hope to hit the ace, but it's not a great spot, I don't think. Right, I'm going to head off to the break, so we'll be right back after these short messages.
After it was all over, Mr. Crossman invited Mama and Papa to stay for a picnic around the outdoor fireplace. Papa and Nels roasted the wieners. Mr. Crossman brewed the coffee. And Mama, for a change, just sat and watched the men folks do the work.
Say, does anything smell better than fresh coffee brewed outdoors over an open fire? And when it's good to the last drop Maxwell House is sweetening the air, folks are sure of a rich reward of flavor in every steaming cup. For the world-famous flavor of Maxwell House coffee is in the blend right from the beginning, because it's made from better-tasting prime flavor coffees, the richer coffees, that make the difference between a cup that tastes just so-so and coffee that really satisfies. And folks everywhere know there's a difference. Your devotion to that famous good-to-the-last-drop flavor has made Maxwell House the largest-selling brand of coffee in the world. Mama and her family, like so many other families, are taking a summer vacation, but they'll be back with us in September.
Goodbye. We will see you in the fall. Papa, Nelson, Catherine, and Dagmar, and me, Mama. Have a good summer. And may the Lord keep you happy and strong.
And while the Hansons are away, be sure to watch the Hollywood Stars on Mike Stokey's Pantomime Quiz, beginning next week at the same time on most of these stations. Brought to you by Baker's Instant 4-in-1 Mix. And here is Mike Stokey to tell you all about it.
That's right, folks. Next week it is Pantomime Quiz, and let's remind you how to play it. Here's lovely Dorothy Hart. Dorothy,
Hello,
show
Mike.
'em quick. Huh?
All right,
Go
fine.
ahead. All right, you're mixing something, putting it in an oven, pulling it out. You're baking. Bakers. Fast. Hurry. Instant. Baker's Instant 4-in-1 Mix, our sponsor. See you next week on Pantomime Quiz, ladies and gentlemen.
And wherever you are this summer, remember to buy Roaster Fresh vacuum-packed Maxwell House coffee. Always good to the last drop.
Steady. Steady. He's got it. That's really something when you're doing 335 miles an hour, 25,000 feet up. Yes, in Capital Airlines Viscount, you can balance a quarter on edge. That's how smooth it is in this newest luxury airliner where every detail is carefully planned for passenger comfort and enjoyment. Naturally, this includes the cigarettes served on these planes. It's Winston, America's best-selling, best-tasting filter cigarette.
Honey, this is wonderful.
They sure think of everything, including our Winstons.
Tastes good.
Like a cigarette should.
That's what they all say. Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should. This filter cigarette brings you real tobacco flavor, rich and full. The exclusive Winston filter works so effectively, the flavor comes right through to you. Try Winston, America's most popular filter cigarette. Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should.
Why are we stopping?
Darned upset stomach. We'll have to turn back.
Hold everything. I got just the thing. Look, Pepto-Bismol tablets.
Pepto-Bismol tablets? Something new?
Brand new.
But do they work like Pepto-Bismol?
Like Pepto-Bismol liquid? Sure do. Here, just chew them.
Tastes good.
New Pepto-Bismol tablets work like Pepto-Bismol liquid. Both give you the same protective coating action that stops stomach irritation, works here in your stomach to soothe away distress of indigestion, nausea, and in your lower tract to restore control. No wonder Pepto-Bismol liquid is used in many hospitals.
Now why are we stopping?
I want to get something to eat.
I thought you had an upset stomach.
Had.
Quick as a wink, you're in the pink with new good-tasting Pepto-Bismol tablets and soothing pink Pepto-Bismol liquid.
Start with fresh corn flavor. Start your day with Post Toasties Corn Flakes. Start your day a little bit better. Post Toasties, crackling out loud with fresh corn flavor. Post Toasties.
And we're back. And Mama, for a change, just sat around watching the men folk work. I do love the old-fashionedness of the ads. It's the reason I run them, and it's kind of a reminder of the way the world used to be. In sometimes positive, but often negative ways. So we've been 3-bet by Bogdan, and we're getting it in with our queens. And of course, he gets there with his king. I mean, it's like a guarantee. If we get our money in with a pair, somebody's going to get the money in with one overcard and hit it. Yeah. I'm old enough to have actually spent some time on airplanes that had smoking sections, so I don't know. It was weird. Back in the day, you never really thought twice about it because it was just normal. Everywhere you went, people smoked. I'm not quite old enough to remember my doctor smoking during examinations, but I'm absolutely old enough to remember smoking being allowed in my doctor's waiting room while we were sitting waiting for an appointment, and there'd be ashtrays all over the waiting room, and the patients and parents would be smoking in the waiting room. I'm old enough to remember when you just light up a cigarette in the middle of a movie while you're sitting in the movie theater. I'm old enough to remember when you'd just be walking through the middle of the mall and light up a cigarette and be smoking as you're walking through the mall. Smoking as you're walking through any of the stores, all that stuff. It would just be anywhere. Yeah, so it was a different world. It was a completely different world. And it's funny. You go to like buildings that were designed in the 50s and 60s and 70s now, and you can actually see design elements that are no longer part of building today that were just integral parts of public spaces back in the day. The sort of ubiquitous ashtray build doesn't happen anymore, right? But you go into a building of a certain vintage and there are ashtrays in the elevators. There are ashtrays in the hallways. There are ashtrays pretty much every, 30, 40, 50 feet because when you were designing public spaces in the 50s and 60s, if you didn't design for smokers, you ended up with a very, very, very difficult situation. So yeah. Yep, you're right. You're right, Ant-Man. It's all the power of positive or negative thinking, as they say. We're 6 of 10 in the Abyss Nano now. 5 places getting paid there. We are in pretty rough shape in the qualifier with less than 10 big blinds now. And I think we're shoving 8-9 suited on the button. Well, not anymore. We were going to if it folded to us, but obviously we're not going to call off with that, I don't think. I'm all in the Abyss with jacks. And it got through. I folded an ace-jack on the Dwarf Star bounty table after lots of action, and I was right. I was up against an ace-king. I maybe should have shoved that king-9 under the gun there. We're only 5-handed or 6-handed here, so maybe that's like a hijack spot, right? So yeah, maybe I should have shoved that. Maybe I should have shoved that king-9 last hand. Ace-queen takes it. We are one closer to a ticket. And we are down to the final table now. I've managed to chip up a little bit in the Abyss Nano as well. I think I'm still 6 of 10. No, 5 of 10 now. So just on the min cash position now. Not really any point in stalling at this point. Yeah, sometimes you get it in bad and get there. So I only need to survive 3 eliminations here to get to get a ticket in this qualifier. So we've actually got a chance here. I mean, I know we're not stacked for it, but I mean, we should be able to survive Atos for sure. He's the next one that needs to go in, so... I'm all in with my ace-queen here, under the gun, I think. Don't really have any other options. Now that we're 8 of 8 as well, I don't have any ICM here unless I get chips, so... I've still got a ways to go before I get... before I survive. We need to get past two eliminations though, so a couple of coolers and we're booking a ticket. We can just stay out of the way. Nice one, Piano Cat. Obviously not calling that. Obviously getting all of our money in with this. Nice call off. Nice call off from the Jack 8 there. Gotta like that. Gotta like that. We pick ourselves up a double up. Still last place in chips, but we've at least got some survival room. And it means other people are a little bit more concerned about their stack size, I'm going to guess. That's cool, Ian. I'm just glad you're hanging out. Nice. Nice one. So we get to watch you do another satellite on Sunday. That's cool. Very cool. Good game. So we're 4 of 6 on the money bubble in the Abyss Nano. Right now, 164 guaranteed on that one. Or 164 for the min cash, I mean, on that one. Nothing guaranteed yet. We are 16 of 43 in the Dwarf Star Bounty Nano. But it's still fairly early days in that one. So, not too... I probably shouldn't ever fold there. I know you guys didn't see the hand. I'm on a different table, but actually, let's bring that up. I actually want to run through this and see what you guys... Whoops, that's not the right hand. Hang on, let me bring that up. Give me a second here. So... Replay... fold my deuce 9. Alrighty, so this is the abyss. We're on the bubble. I'm 4 of 9, or I'm 4 of 6, with 5 people getting paid. I'm on the big blind, and we get a shove for... Is Jack 5 a call hand here? Am I calling any 2 at this stage? Or am I saving chips by not calling when I'm fairly certain that I'm going to be behind when I call and I'm going to have to suck out in order to win this hand? I fold, but that's because I'm a nit. I'm a nit as shit. So I don't know. Should I actually be calling any 2 here, no matter what, no matter how bad they look to me? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, please. I'll be folding the 6-3 here. Here's my problem is I can't shove into crushing mine because he's calling me with everything. But I mean, I guess I don't have a lot of choice. No, I do have choice. I can wait. Other people can get stupid. I think the 8s are something that I can't really pass up on. Still bubble in the abyss, Nano. God. God. Ugh. Ugh. Do I call my 8s here? Do I call off my 8s here as the small stack? I mean, I shove them if it comes to me. I think I have to. Oh! Oh! I mean, really? That's what's been happening to me every single tournament when my life is on the line. The last 4 or 5 days. You know, I just don't get it. I honestly just don't get it. Very frustrating. So we're done in the qualifier. No ticket for us. Don't really know how you're supposed to recover from that sort of thing because, I mean, I should have a double chip stack, still be playing that game, and be in a good spot to get a ticket. And instead, I'm busted and I'm done because I don't really get how you're supposed to just deal with that and move on without having it affect your game. Because I mean, maybe I'm not supposed to call the eights there. Am I not supposed to call the eights there? I don't know. I don't know. Seems like if I'm busting in those spots that often, this often, I've got to be doing something wrong, right? That's all I can think of is that I have to be doing something wrong, or else I'd be winning more, wouldn't I? I got two tables going at the moment, Ant-Man. I am playing the Dwarf Star Bounty, where we are 18 of 44, with 20 people getting paid, and registration ending in 7 minutes. And we are on the bubble, 3 of 6, with 5 people getting paid in the Abyss Nano. Been on the bubble there for a little while, so that's all that is currently playing. Just those two. The Dwarf Star and the Abyss. Yeah, thanks, guys. I figured it was probably the best call, and it's just gross when it runs out like that. And I mean, I know that you just gotta shake those off and move on. But it's difficult. It is difficult when you're getting them in the spots where you're supposed to be winning and you're not. It's frustrating. That's variance, absolutely. That's variance. And the weird thing is with that hand is I probably don't feel quite as gypped. Excuse me, I should never use that word. That's that's horrible. That's something that comes from my youth, and I was a common word in my youth, and we should not use it today. I would feel less cheated if the ace had come, and I would still be a little annoyed that he's shoving the ace deuce there. But if the ace comes and beats my 8, it's like, well, yeah, you hit your overcard, okay, fine. That's the way poker goes sometimes. But when it runs out that dirty into the straight, it just feels that much. I don't know. It just feels to me like you get cheated that much more, even though it's at the end of the day the same result, 8-8 against ace deuce, and the ace deuce gets there. It doesn't really matter how the ace deuce gets there, right? Is it only 52-48? It can't be that. It can't be that close pre-flop with an ace deuce, can it? Yeah, no, absolutely. There are days, and I've had those days where I can't lose the flips. And the few tournaments I've won, there's been, A, I'm winning the flips, and B, when I get in behind, I'm getting there. So, yeah, it obviously goes both ways, and and I'm just in one of those periods where the variance is hitting me over the head instead of gently pushing me along. But we are still on the bubble in the Abyss, for the record. Let's go over there and watch that one for a while. Nice, Ant-Man. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I don't know that his shove is all that debatable, given that we're in a qualifier, given his stack size. He's actually not in that terrible a spot when he shoves there, I think, because he gets folds from a lot of the table a lot of the time, and he's unlucky to run up against a pair there that I call off. But let's be serious here. Eights is probably the lowest that I'm thinking about calling off there, right? I mean, if it's sevens, I have to think a lot harder with. If we're talking about fives and down, I'm probably just tossing them in the muck at that point, right? So it's not. I don't think it's a terrible shove from his perspective. It just puts me in a gross spot, is all. Yeah, I think that probably could have been a shove. One of my problems is that I was feeling kind of the player to my left had been basically calling me off with anything and getting there on a couple of previous hands, and it just felt like it didn't. I was never getting that shove through. I was always getting it called, and I was always having to either be the best hand or hold eventually. So that's why I didn't shove that. But that's probably bad thinking. I probably just need to go with the hand strengths and shove queen eight at that point, I think. But yeah, it was a situational thing with the particular player that was to my left in that spot. Looks like we might burst the bubble here in the abyss with any luck. I'm not going to be very aggressive here because I'd rather have three people in at showdown here to give the most chance for busting this other player. And I'm less concerned about taking this pot. I really wish he hadn't bet, frankly. It would make a lot more sense for us all to go to showdown. I don't really know why people do this. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, but it strikes me that if you just check through to the river, you have three chances of knocking out the other player instead of just one chance of knocking out the other player, is all I'm saying. Yeah, and I think you're right, Cleeds. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, 3-2 sounds, or yeah, that sounds more. Or 2-1. I mean, sounds more right there. So we're now in the money in the abyss. I don't think I'm going to call this shove off. Not with King Jack. So that should be a ladder. We should now be 4 of 4. Ladder to 273. Still got a stack in the Dwarf Star Bounty as well. 33 big blinds-ish. I'm going to shove my pair of fours here on the abyss table. Doesn't look like it was the best place for me to shove them, but yeah, I guess not. Oh well. So we're done for 273 in fourth position for 273 in the Abyss Nano. Let me put that into my that might actually mean we haven't quite made a profit yet today, but we're close. We're close. 395 buy-ins, 320. Yeah, you could be right, Cleeds. I don't know. I don't think it was terrible, but I don't necessarily think it's great either. So we hit top pair. We got Crazy Papa in the hand with us, so it's a good chance we can get paid. So this is the last hand we're playing, or the last game we're playing so far today. We'll probably shut her down after this. Hasn't been a super long stream today. I got started a little later than I normally do. Not that it really mattered, because it only would have been you guys would have been here to watch me bust out gross fashion in a couple of tournaments. So, nothing lost, really, except from my bankroll. I put a bet out with my top pair here, I think. So we now have two pair with the fours, and we're only really worried about a four now, or I guess an ace king is problematic for us as well, but I think it's more likely that we're against hearts or things like that at that point. Joni's calling off pretty light there. Looking for the bounty, I guess. Thank you, Cleeds. So Jiblad followed me earlier today. Haven't seen him come by the chat yet today, but I saw him click the follow button when I was offline, so that's kind of cool. Pair of aces. You've got work to do. Green and red ace. Let's do some work. Let's make some chippies. I unfortunately have no bounties I can take on this table. Let's change that. Let's get some chips so we can actually take some bounties in later hands. Yeah, tournament is such a... There's so many things going on. It's one of the reasons I like it, is because there's so much more happening. And there's so much more you got to keep track of. I find if I play cash games after a few hours with no blind changes, nothing like that, it just becomes robotic for me, and I just can't keep my focus nearly as easily as I do in tournaments, because with tournaments there's always something new that you got to be thinking about. There's always you always got to be checking where you are. You got to be checking what the stack sizes are. You got to be, there's just always something to be thinking about. And with blind changes and things like that, I mean, even with the stack sizes, yeah, you got to pay attention to stack sizes in cash games, but the stack sizes in cash games only vary based on the results of hands, right? There are spots in tournaments where, without anything happening other than the level changing, you go from having a deep-ish stack that you can play well post-flop with to having only a 3-bet shove type stack. Basically, when the blinds change and the blinds go up, and you have the same number of chips, it's just that your ability to play the options you have to play the hands change dramatically because the blinds have changed. So there's so much more going on. That's one of the reasons I like it. It's one of the reasons I prefer tournament over cash. So we're 10 away from the money in the Dwarf Star now. $9 to go to the money now. We're going to put in a raise here with our jacks. Good luck, Archibald. Good luck on the bubble, buddy. Michael Bublé. Blech. Gross all spade flop. I guess we got to get out of the way. Guess we got to get out of the way. I have to fold this, right? When he just donk bets there, I mean, is that ever a bluff? Or is that ever, I mean, is that ever just him going I want to take the pot back. You tried to steal it from me on pre-flop, but I just want to steal it from you now. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious about that one actually with the jacks there. When it comes all spades and I don't have a spade in my hand, king high. What am I supposed to do there? Am I just supposed to fold there when he donks out? I'm not really. I mean, I suppose when I fold there, I'm just assuming that he's donked spades or hit the king or something, but can I really continue there when I don't have any spade in my hand at all? Let's go back and look at that one again. Okie dokie, so we end up getting jacks and Valmu limps under the gun. We're under the gun +1, so we put in the 4x raise. And he just smooth calls behind. Okay. There's a lot of hands that you might do that with. Lots of ace-x hands that you might do that with. You might do that with bigger pairs, that sort of thing. Probably not doing that with any smaller pairs than jacks. I wouldn't think. You're probably wanting to, well, I don't know. It's hard to say. But then we come all spades, king high, and he just donks for half the pot. Is that ever a bluff? I mean, I'm thinking that the sort of weakest hand that we're looking at here would be ace 7 with the ace of spades. Ace spades 7x is probably the weakest hand I'm looking at here. Yeah. You think I should have seen the turn card, Addy? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering now as well. That's what I'm wondering now as well. It's just that the donk bet seems really weird there is all. That's what confused me. Yeah, I'm thinking like ace spades 7x is the kind of hand that I'm looking at. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, it's interesting. I did end up folding it, which it's probably just me being too nutty, but you know, the way it goes sometimes. We are 6 from the money now. Gonna put in a raise with my ace 10. It might be a little weak from under the gun, but it is suited, so I think that makes a small difference. I think that's the only time I've seen him donk bat, actually, so I don't think he's done it a lot. He's just a new one at the table. I don't remember him being at the table very often before. Right, so we're putting our money in here with our pair, or with our flush draw, or are we putting our money in with our flush draw? Or are we just calling here and seeing what the turn brings? That's what we're doing. Fuck. Guess I should have put it in on the flop, but he's not going anywhere on the flop. I just, so here's my problem. When I'm playing big hands like that, and people are calling behind like that with crap, I mean, why is he calling there? And so, okay, you call to speculate about hitting your hand. Why are they always hitting? That's what gets me there. I think I'm probably done for the day because I'm clearly not in the right frame of mind to be playing poker, because I'm not making the right decisions, and even when I am making the right decisions, I'm losing anyways. So I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I wish the day had gone better than it did. I didn't play that last hand particularly well, I don't think. But am I really supposed to be putting him on a 5-6 there? I'm putting him on like maybe a jack, an ace jack, something like that. That I'm still going to have. I mean, I still had outs when I put it in there on the turn, but yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, when I want them to call behind like that, but how am I supposed to be able to get away when they just suck out on me like that with those hands? I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I mean, if it was happening just once in a while, it would be just, well, that's poker and it's the way it goes. But when you're losing, I mean, you guys saw me lose 4 or 5 70-30, 80-20 spots today. And it just, it shouldn't be happening that often, I wouldn't think. But, we keep going. It's poker. You keep plugging away, and you keep doing it. And presumably the variance rolls around, and I have another one of those runs where everything hits. And presumably that happens again. So I do appreciate you guys hanging out. Sorry for being a little negative here at the end. It's always nice to have you here, and it does actually help me talk it through and have you guys with me here, because it does help me figure things out and help me feel a little weird. This is where it all went wrong, of course. I'm just watching it all on replay. This is where it all went wrong on me, because I should just fold the turn at this point. I shouldn't think that I've got anything there. But, I mean, how am I supposed to put him on a 6-5 when he calls a 3-bet or when he calls a 3x raise? Yeah, I mean, I should have probably on the flop. I should have done that, but I don't see him getting away anyways from where he was, and I just don't know what else I'm supposed to. It's hands like that where I feel like he's seen the cards in advance, because why else is he calling a 3x raise with 6-5 offsuit? Right? Except he knows it's gonna come. But of course, that's just me being negative, so I can't think that way. But yeah, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating to do that. Yeah, you're right. Jamming the flush draw on the flop instead of waiting until the turn was the way to go. But I also think that waiting till the turn, I get one of the other reasons I call behind there is because shoving the flop, I push out hands that will bluff again on the turn. Maybe that's the wrong way to think in nanos, but it lets me keep it lets me keep hands that are worse than mine in the pot. They're going to fold when I raise. So that was why I did that. I think it may not be the right thinking, but yeah, we can't always win. You're right, and it's just yeah. I mean, I think I won't say I didn't make any mistakes today. I made some mistakes, but I think I identified the mistakes and have worked through them reasonably well, or at least thought about them here. So I do appreciate you guys' help, and I do appreciate you guys talking me through hands and things. And yeah, even as we were saying the other day, even 20% is a lot. Like I said, if I had a 20% chance of dying every time I cross the street, I'm gonna think a lot harder about crossing the street, right? So 20% is a lot. The truth is, that's poker. You're right. That's poker. And I just gotta be able to roll with it. And I have to. The hard part is, of course, you always feel the downswing more than you feel the upswing. The upswing is just the way it's supposed to work. The downswing feels like you're getting hit. So the human brain isn't wired to think properly about poker, and that's what makes it so hard, I think. And that's where my problem is as well. And I just have to ride it out. And I mean, I think yeah, exactly, guys. And I appreciate your support, and it does really help. And I do think I'm playing reasonably well. I don't think I'm like playing horribly. And I'm not even in that big. It's not even like a terrible downswing at the moment. Let me have a quick look at what my current stats look like after today. So let's so we zeroed out in that. Yeah, so we are done that. So yeah, I mean we're down under under 150 on our bankroll, and we're like 10 euros lower than our max bankroll. But at the end of the day, I've still got 145 some odd euros of free money that I'm playing with. And I've still had a pretty darn stellar run through this whole Unibet Open free roll challenge thing. So I'm not really that negative, and it's been good. Yeah, we discussed the questionables, so thank you guys. Thank you very much for coming. I am going to sign off now. Let's have a look at who else is streaming. Maybe I'll throw a host. Maybe I'll throw a host off to somebody. Who else is streaming right now? Let's see who else is streaming right now. Yeah. Nobody on there I really want to throw a host off to or that would care about my host, so yeah, we'll just call it a day. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with me, folks. I will not be back. I'll be back on Friday this week. I will not be back on Saturday this week, though, because I have to drive to Calgary this weekend. But I will be back on Friday for another session of MotherShip Poker. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm out. For more vintage poker content from MotherShip Poker, click the subscribe button and check out the playlists for all of our old archived content, as well as the ads only cut from some of the early streams.